Satanized. Back on the beat to make crowd disappear. Beefy disguises from ground up steer. Like Sherlock Holmes with laser beam eyes. On private deck. Get in the zone, get in the zone. Get in the zone, get in the zone. Clock doesn't pay unless you get away what you want. Cause you came from the Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1.
Now you might pray to God, y'all, but I like Lucifer best of all. Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub.
Hey everybody, it is I, Count Jackula, your favorite satanic streamer, here with another satanic stream. And we are currently broadcasting live via the internet through YouTube, blasting out your eardrums, just hoping, like fuck, that there's just someone out there listening. Hey, Cat Herman, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. Happy do. Hey, Chrome Bison, how is it? Hoping you're all doing well. I see the world's all fucked up. How about you? Huh. I'm gonna. Man. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Matthew, Ianone, what's up? I haven't seen you in ages. How's it going? How's the family? How's the everything? Yeah, turn down the rope. Doing good, taking a break from schoolwork. Oh, you went back to school. Hey, Katie Seeger, what's up? We got a new face. We got an old face. Well, that's good. You have to forgive me. We got fighting robots in the background there. Oh, plus we've also got a host that is being bitten alive by mosquitoes. Apparently mosquitoes think I'm delicious. You know, like, you know how they're like, hey, mosquitoes think some people are more delicious than others, but we don't know why. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Mosquitoes love me. They're just like, oh yeah, this is the best. I, on the other hand, not as big a fan. Not as big a fan. If only I attracted, like, vampire chicks the way I attract mosquitoes, I'd probably be a bit better. You know, be doing okay. You know. Cat Hermit, how you doing? I did. Best thing is your player pays for it. Jesus Christ, you lucked out. Yeah, welcome to the pit, Kate. Ugh. Man. So I just got back. Is your blood type O? Because mosquitoes love that blood type. It is. I'm good, but it's just Kate, not Katie. Oh, well. Oh, well, we'll see about that. Just kidding. Yeah, I've got type O blood. Maybe that does have something to do with it. You know, easily digestible for them or something. And Knitting Samurai, what is up? Boy. Yeah, O positive? Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I think we found it. We have found a thread that we can pursue as a potential answer. Oh, man. It's also been kind of warm out. Yeah, it's getting a little warm out here in San Francisco. That, of course, means like 70 degrees. Hey, Flashman. We're talking about blood? Yeah. Talking about blood and mosquitoes. Blood and mosquitoes. We got laser beam eyes. Bump, bump. All right, you put the kid to bed, man. Oh, I just got back from seeing the movie Ash. If you want to learn more about what my thoughts and feelings on Ash were, you'll have to wait till the inevitable vlog that me and Horror Guru do on the subject. Hey, cute little cat girl, what is up? And no, I am not gonna voice over Nancy comics for you. That's not happening. Oh, good Lord. All right, I'm gonna gauge my bad habit. And a cigarette. Good Lord. Well, Mr. Wizard knew that mosquitoes are into type O blood. Is there anything Mr. Wizard didn't know? You've been replaying the second remake of Bionic Commando? Jesus Christ. Huh. I guess they did do a remake of Bionic Commando. He still has the claw and everything. Huh. Well, don't look at me. I have no idea. Oh, Kate, you're out in Florida. Oh, that must be fun. I see by your channel that you have a playlist that is transgender makeup tips and tricks, which I am sure being trans in Florida is amazing. Seems like a hard time to me. I mean, I'm in California, so I live in California, home of the way too liberal, which is works for me. I mean, I'm just gonna tell you, it's pretty. Oh, you're not trans. You just doing the makeup tips. Oh, I had a friend who was. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Had a friend who was. What happened? They go back on it? I've heard of rare cases where that happens, but I have a feeling what you mainly mean is that you lost touch with them. Yep, exactly. Okay. Perry says being trans in Florida is a commitment to living in the closet or being stealths. Also high. Oh, God. Yeah. Know what? It's an odd day, so let's put on a little guar.
I'd like to buy you. Why?
Hey, I know, Nate.
Worship us!
Americanized.
You worship me, but still you suck. I'm Americanized. USA! I'm Americanized. I'm Americanized. Death to all who wear paisley. I'm American.
Florida's home and you hate to see it turn to something ugly. Oh, I don't blame you.
I'm Americanized. Your world is full of hate and filth. I'm Americanized. I'll rape your dog with a plow. USA, I'm Americanized.
Have I been to Whorehound? I have not been to Whorehound. That's one of the shows I haven't been to.
Come on, man, let's go kill someone. Cheap fuckers, cheap fuckers, cheap fuckers, get out. Cheap fuckers.
Yeah, that was Guar's Americanized. As they say, 9 tons of crack a day. Is it up your butt, the USA? I have a feeling it probably is right now because I feel like we're all getting reamed. You know, such. Like, did something happen today? Like, something insane must have happened today. It's Trump's America, right? Like, something fucking happened. Proof of citizenship in federal elections. With a picture of a bunch of jackals fucking clapping, you know. Signed a sweeping executive action to overhaul U.S. elections, including requiring documentary proof of citizenship ready to vote. And demanding that all ballots be received by election day. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Well... Well, that was a mistake. Looking at that shit, like I am one of those guys. I heard that quarter pounder is 300,000 in debt, so that's good. Oh, now I'm just watching America turn to a fascist state. I'm worried about it for decades, and they decided to do it for real. Trump raged at I know he raged at a portrait of himself. Well, that portrait is about as good as it could possibly fucking make him, unless he wants to claim that he looks like Rambo or Jesus. Like, if you want to know what's wrong, in my mind, what's wrong with American Christianity, just look at a fucking people who have images of Trump dressed as Jesus holding an AK. You know, like, really? Really? Like, that America. You know? It's so bald-faced, I don't even know what to think about it. Yeah, I'm not used to the world being so bald-faced about its bigotry and idiocy. Hey, Steve. So that on Tizzy Ant. His portrait make him look scared. I don't know. He's really not. He's really a fat guy. Oh. Yeah, I demand my apocalypse. Are we gonna have a 7-head dragon or what? You know, like that's where I'm at with this shit. You know, is Sky gonna split open like a sheet, or isn't it? How was Ash? Ash was pretty good. Ash was pretty good. I know about Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Malonusk. Fucking turned out to be like a complete piece of shit. Elon Puss. You know, when's a whore Babylon gonna show up? Like, come on, give me something. Like, give me something. Was it groovy? You'll have to wait until the inevitable vlog in a few days to find out. The hell? I feel like I'm missing something here. Where'd my Yeah, I am missing a few things. What did I do with them? Anyway, I started reading Roadside Picnic, which is the book that Stalker is based off of. So far, pretty good. The novel so far is much more straightforward than the movie. Maybe I'm missing my daily dose of puppy. I probably am. You know, I probably am. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Stalker is this great science fiction movie done by Andrei Tartakovsky back in 1979. Something I didn't realize is that the novel that that movie is based on, was only a few years old by the time the movie was made. Yeah. I think you should read it. It's
зона — это очень сложная система ловушек, что ли. Но стоит тут появиться людям, как все здесь приходит в движение. Здесь исполнится ваше самое заветное желание. Самое выстраданное.
You know, it's like I said, it turns out the novel is way more straightforward than the movie is, much like Solaris, which was Tartakovsky's like other big science fiction masterpiece that was based off a Russian novel. Like Solaris is actually pretty straightforward, and it moves by. It's actually pretty brisk, unlike the Tartakovsky movie, which is very slow, which is very slow and mysterious. And Stalker is obviously the same way. Like, you would think that given the movie Stalker, that the novel would be like this really big, thick tome, but no, it's actually a slim, like, it's only about 150 pages when translated into English. I haven't finished it yet, but already there's a lot more of, oh, that's what that scene's about. Hey, DJ NGO, how you doing? Oh, yeah, the background story of the making of Stalker is really, 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 really interesting. Let's see.
What you are looking at is legendary director Andrei Tarkovsky's response to one of the worst things that can happen to a filmmaker. While filming the most expensive shot of his movie The Sacrifice, involving a man burning his house down in one long take, the camera jammed during the take and the house burned down, without being filmed.
Jammed.
They scraped together some money and rebuilt the house over 2 weeks to film it again, and this wonderful edit at the end is actually just the end of the take because they used up the entire reel on the one shot. Reportedly, the cinematographer had advised Tarkovsky to use more than one camera for the shot the first time around, but the director decided against it. I mean, at least he didn't choose to bring 0 cameras, although he might as well have. Now I bet you're thinking that's some pretty bad luck right there. Well, that's nothing. 7 years before filming The Sacrifice, Tarkovsky sacrificed his sanity to make this movie, Stalker. Stalker had one of the most difficult productions in cinema history, and possibly even caused Tarkovsky's death. You don't have to have seen Stalker to watch this video, but it's possible that you already have. It's currently the #1 most streamed movie on the new Criterion Channel streaming service. So let's see why one crew member described the production of Stalker as a mirror of a hellish trip.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is Cinema Tyler Show.
I wonder if he'll get into what Stalker's actually about.
If you're unfamiliar with Andrei Tarkovsky, here is a mini bio. Andrei Tarkovsky was a Russian film director whose main work was between 1962 and 1986. His style was slow, methodical, and atmospheric, often involving really beautiful shots of nature.
Yep.
His father was a poet, and you could say that Andrei was a poetic filmmaker. He's most similar to directors like Ingmar Bergman or Robert Bresson, and you most likely have seen his influence even recently. Much like Christopher Nolan today, Tarkovsky's main interest in the art of filmmaking revolved around time. He thought of filmmaking as sculpting in time, and he is known for lingering on a shot for long periods for the purpose of, as Roger Ebert put it, absorbing you rather than entertaining you. My favorite movie of his is The Mirror, but I would start with Ivan's Childhood, about a child army scout during World War II, which is more traditional, or Solaris, about a space station orbiting a mysterious planet that creates perfect copies of people from your memory, which is his movie that seems to have caught on the most in the mainstream, and is a direct answer to the cleanliness of Stanley Kubrick's Future in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay, something about Solaris. The thing that causes the duplication is a disease. That's more explicit in the book. In that it's explicit in the book that it is a virus. It is some sort of space virus that is causing the duplication. And that's one of the things by which I mean, like, turns out the books that he was inspired by are actually very straightforward.
Tarkovsky was quoted saying, "Let's make our space station look like a broken down bus." And he hated 2001: A Space Odyssey, by the way. And he hated it in a motivating way. It's very likely that we got Solaris because of 2001. And, it makes sense. Kubrick is one side of the brain and Tarkovsky is the other. And there's a fascinating video showing the similarity in style and imagery between the two directors, which I'll put a link to down in the description. Out of the 7 features Tarkovsky directed, only Solaris and Stalker were really science fiction movies. And it's really interesting to see Tarkovsky apply his craft to science fiction. Personally, I would love to have seen a Tarkovsky horror movie or even like a screwball comedy or something. Apparently, he didn't consider himself a sci-fi fan, calling the genre full of comic book elements and vulgar commercialism. So I guess he wouldn't like some of these sci-fi movies coming out now, but I'm sure there are many he would like, and many that were influenced by him. That said, shortly before his death, he saw James Cameron's The Terminator and said, "As a vision of the future and the relation between man and his destiny, the film is pushing the frontier of cinema as an art." Stalker takes place after a mysterious object from space crashes into a fictitious country. Troops were sent in, but never returned. The government put walls up around this zone to keep people away from its strange effect on reality. Imagine if you can, a forbidden zone of unimaginable mystery and one unauthorized guide to the zone known as a stalker, hired to sneak a writer and professor into the heart of the zone's magic, a room that grants the deepest desires of anyone who enters it. And it stars Natalie Portman. Just kidding. The film was based on a novella named Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, and the film is extremely slow-moving, but that's the point. It envelops you. You feel like you're there instead of watching the story happen to other people. I almost feel like some of these really long takes allow your mind to wander as if you were the character. You're intrigued by the nature of the zone and what will happen next, but you're given space to contemplate the concept as the character would without being told what to think at any given moment. And the movie seamlessly transitions into these contemplative segments. Tarkovsky hired Georgi Rurberg as cinematographer. Rurberg had shot Tarkovsky's previous film, The Mirror, in 1975. They wanted to use the expressive texture of the abandoned power plants in Estonia and Tallinn, which, as strangely beautiful as it was, caused lots of logistical problems. The crew often had to work in some very uncomfortable situations for hours on end, but we'll get more into that later. One of the earlier issues involved Tarkovsky's wife Larissa, who demanded to play the role of the stalker's wife in the film. She was very difficult on the set, earning the nickname the Empress. Rurberg asked Tarkovsky if he wanted Larissa or the actual actress, which was apparently enough to get Tarkovsky to come to his senses and hire Alyssa. Larissa, his wife, was pissed, and she hated Rurberg. The real problems would begin once they got the footage back. The footage had been brought to a lab in Moscow to be developed, but when it was done, they noticed that the image looked dark and greenish. Now, I'm not sure why they were just starting to see the footage after several months of shooting, but nevertheless...
Because they were out in the middle of nowhere.
Months and months of extremely stressful, hectic work was destroyed. I mean, can you imagine looking back on all of the issues on the set and the problems, and realizing that you might as well have not have even had film in the camera at all? The problem was twofold. a mistake in the development along with a defective batch of film. Here are some stills from the ruined film so you can see what it looked like. They had been shooting on a film stock that was, at the time, experimental. Kodak 5247, actually one of the more famous film stocks. And the Soviet film labs were not yet experienced in how to develop it. Alien, The Shining, Star Wars, Blade Runner, and a ton of other classics were shot on that film stock. What happened next, as you can imagine, was a nightmare of determining who was to blame and the decision about whether or not to go on. They fired the second cameraman, who was apparently, quote, responsible for exposure, but it probably wasn't his fault. The next to go was the production designer, and so on down the line. Tarkovsky had already been having problems with the cinematographer, Rurberg, before the film stock was even ruined. Rurberg had said that he was trying to make his own film simultaneously. He even said that when he worked on The Mirror with Tarkovsky, which was Tarkovsky's autobiography, that, quote, Andre made a film about himself and I about myself. Luckily, it was the same film. That's kind of messed up, right? I mean, isn't that like hiring a stalker to take you into the zone, but instead he just takes you over to his house so he can show you his Blu-ray collection? You're like, what's so magical about this place? He's like, oh man, you just have to believe. You just have to believe, man. Rurberg was born into a highly intellectual family in 1937 during the height of Stalin's repression of poets and artists who were often arrested for their work. The thing you must realize is that Stalker is about an artist, a writer, who lives under a repressive government. Of course Rurberg is going to want to tell the story. His parents probably drilled into his mind the importance of authority in your artistic voice. So Tarkovsky and Rurberg would often butt heads on the set. And one time, Tarkovsky asked Rurberg to do an effect that he saw in an Ingmar Bergman movie, and they even had a special studio made to get the effect, but Rurberg couldn't do it the way that Tarkovsky wanted, and Tarkovsky just flipped out on him. Man, I wish I knew what the effect was. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments. So when he found out that the film stock was ruined, Tarkovsky immediately fired Rurberg.
Well, yeah.
Baby.
This was a whole thing, and there was even a documentary made in 2009 detailing Rurberg's side called Rurberg and Tarkovsky, the reverse side of Stalker. In 1993, Tarkovsky's diaries were published. Not only did he write that Rurberg was a terrible cinematographer, but that he sucked as a person too. But this disdain might not have been as intense as it seemed. Apparently, Tarkovsky would often dictate his diary for various people to write down, including his wife, who, you'll remember, hated Rurberg's guts. According to his diaries, the 70s were particularly tough for Tarkovsky. At one point, he considered quitting the cinema entirely and directing theater productions. I mean, there can't be a problem with the film if there's no camera, right? And Stalker was actually the climax of Tarkovsky's decade of anguish. His film Andrei Rublev from 1966 had been denied a domestic release, and the script he wanted to do for his next movie was denied because it was too personal. And this would later become The Mirror. The studio was ready to pull the plug on Stalker. They were losing money, but instead of scrapping the production entirely, they decided to let Tarkovsky try again. Tarkovsky had originally proposed a two-part film, and they used the leftover money to reshoot, but they only had enough money to shoot one of the two parts. With Rurberg gone, Tarkovsky had to find a new DP to shoot his film. He hired Leonid Kalashnikov, and the following autumn they reshot for months at an abandoned hydroelectric power station in Estonia, because the original location they wanted had an earthquake. Tarkovsky saw what he had shot, and it sucked. It had no magic. Tarkovsky was like, this is bullshit, man. This isn't the way I wanted it. Damn it. So yeah, he fired Leonid. So Tarkovsky decided to shoot Stalker for a third time, and this time with a new cinematographer named Alexander...
Nyazginsky.
Tarkovsky changed the script around, and apparently the version that was shot by Alexander is very different from what they shot a year earlier. The version shot by Alexander is the one that we've seen. This final version of the film was shot using a KSN camera, which is the Soviet version of the Mitchell NC. Nearly every shot in the zone that isn't a close-up was shot using a Cook-Verotel 20 to 100mm T 3.1 zoom lens. This lens was, quote, as big as an artillery shell and cost the same as a passenger car. The first shot of the new production was the one where the handcar finally stops in the zone. The production designer Rashid Safulin said that the shots leading up to the men's entry into the zone required a large fence with barbed wire, but the production didn't give him any materials the second time around. Although, when they were ready to shoot, he saw that the fence had been set up. Could it be the zone? But really, he was implying that there's something going on in the background, whether that be stealing, finding, swapping, or, buying the material somehow. Another shot affected by the diminished budget was the shot of the tanks lurking in the mist. In an interview, Safulin said, "The first year we had 7 or 8 tanks and 5 armored troop carriers. It was all brought from Moscow and placed around. The next year, there was no money. The limit was 3 tanks and 2 armored troop carriers. Alright, we took it." Andre said, "Can you draw a sketch of it?" I worked for 2 or 3 days drawing the storyboard, because he needed a full-blooded picture, didn't he? With him, there had to be not a single unmotivated flower in the frame, let alone the tanks. We needed an illusion, a great number of tanks being there like something had happened to them, like they had melted or gone to pieces, people in there disappearing somewhere. The whole scene had to breathe drama. He had 2, 3 scattered points in his mind. I knew the situation and I said, I'll do this. But they brought the tanks and gave us 1.5 hours instead of the 2 or 3 days that we really needed so they could be seen from several angles. And they had to be placed at the very entrance. But a tank passing the marshland destroys it for 5 to 10 years. And there had to be no trace that they had just been brought there. We needed an illusion they had been there for 20 years, overgrown with moss. So it was a predicament. That said, Safulin noted that as much as Stalker was altered over the course of its productions, not a single alteration was accidental. It was a result of complex creative work. Apparently, the alterations were so frequent that they were doing them even way back during the first version with Rurberg. They would change something in the script and end up having to reshoot the entire scene. Tarkovsky is so good at making the setting look stunning that you don't realize how miserable it was to actually be there. One scene had the crew standing for hours, quote, up to their knees in stinking puddles of oil while effluent discharge upriver from a paper processing plant enveloped the set in a fetid miasma. This went for months on end. In fact, one of the only 2 shots from the original version of the film that made it into the final cut involved a river covered in reddish foam. This was, quote, the waste of pulp and paper that was dumped into the river from an industrial complex. The other shot from the first version was the one where the camera floats over the mirror. The main part of the movie where the 3 men journey through the zone was shot at 2 hydropower plants on the Jackula River near Tallinn, Estonia, as well as in Mardu next to the Iro power plant. And some of the scenes before the scenes in the zone were shot at an old fluorochemical factory in the center of Tallinn next to the old Rotterdam salt storage and the electric plant. So you can probably tell where this is headed. Many of the crew members would later pass away from illnesses likely related to their time working near hazardous chemicals and radiation. 3 of these deaths would be Anatoly Solonitsyn, the fantastic actor who played the writer. Definitely make sure to check him out in Andrei Rublev and The Ascent. Tarkovsky's wife, and Tarkovsky himself. Tarkovsky was only 54 when he died. He could be alive right now. He'd be around 87 years old. Just think of all the masterpieces that we missed out on. The sound designer Vladimir Sharun is convinced that it was the chemicals that they were working around that killed them. He said that this shot here of what looks like snow falling in the summer and white foam floating down the river was in fact some horrible poison, and many of the female crew members got allergic reactions on their faces from it. This kind of makes the film feel similar to that picture of the core leaking out after the Chernobyl disaster.
Yep.
You shouldn't be able to see this and survive, and yet you're looking at it right now. And this picture was taken a decade after the disaster when the radiation had died down to 1/10 of what it had been. In fact, the Chernobyl disaster involving a catastrophic explosion at the power plant made the surrounding area uninhabitable, and the area was referred to as the zone of alienation. And some of the people who made trips into the zone to care for the Chernobyl power plant called themselves stalkers. So what happened to the first version of Stalker?
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. I mean, in order to do a job like that where you're marching into certain death, you kind of want to give yourself a badass name. And the name of the guys that went into the alien exclusion zones is kind of badass.
I mean, it was a little greenish, right? We might actually be able to use color correction software to fix that. Well, sadly, the film was destroyed in a fire in 1988. And the people who had seen the first version said that even though it was damaged, it was still extraordinarily beautiful. Rurberg may have also been one of the victims of Stalker's hazardous chemicals, having died at only 61 years old. Nearly all of the dreams Tarkovsky wrote in his diary between 1974 and 1977 involved being in prison, and one dream even had Tarkovsky escape from prison only to want to go back. Tarkovsky wrote, At last, to my joy, I saw the entrance to the prison, which I recognized by the bas-relief emblem of the USSR. I was worried about how I was going to be received, but that was nothing compared to the horror of being out of prison. In an essay by Marc Lefanu for Criterion, he argues that Stalker is a fantasy wish to leave Russia, but knowing that it would be either impossible or wrong to. In 1976, Tarkovsky had bought a new house about 200 miles southeast of Moscow, but in 1979, shortly after Stalker, Tarkovsky started traveling to Italy, ultimately deciding in 1982 never to return to Russia. Over the 3 versions of Stalker, 16,000 feet of film was shot, and yet some who have seen both the first version and the version we've seen claim that the 2 versions are almost identical. So who knows what's going on? I mean, they're identical, they're extremely different. I don't know, maybe the first one and the third one are similar and the second one was different. Who knows? But I'll leave you with a quote from an interview with Tarkovsky that I think really sums up this story. He said, "To make a film you need money. To write a poem, all you need is pen and paper. This puts cinema at a disadvantage, but I think cinema is invincible, and I bow down to all the directors who try to realize their own films, despite everything." Thank you, Andre.
Well, it was a good video. It was a decent video. Like, so if you want to know what's happening with Stalker, or or Roadside Picnic, the novel it's based on, basically, it's not an alien attack. It's just an alien landing. The reason it's called Roadside Picnic is the way the aliens are described is they're on their way somewhere else. There was a decent-looking planet. They stopped by, had a picnic, and then left, leaving behind traces of the fact that they had been there. And that's it. That's it. That's what creates the zone. Because the aliens themselves are like massively advanced dimensional beings. And so their imprint on our world is, to us, is just reality altering. But to them, they left the equivalent of cigarette butts and a couple of screws. Things that are trivial to them, that they probably didn't even realize that they had left. Kind of like the day the earth stood still. More like no, it's not like the day the earth stood still. And the day the earth stood still, the advanced civilization comes to warn us of something. In Roadside Picnic, aka Stalker, the alien intelligence doesn't even realize we exist. Yeah, we were local animals to them. You know, if we were seeing one of us on their stop would have been like us seeing a deer or a badger. If not an insect. Yeah, it's a little Lovecraftian. It is a little Lovecraftian, you know, but the aliens are not malicious. They are not even amoral. They're just unknowable. They're just completely unknowable. And the monsters you run into the zone are the equivalent of like skin mites. or ants. Yeah, there's no warning. There's no warning. It's just they just arrived and our world is forever altered. They didn't come to take over. They just came to make a pit stop. Maybe take some photographs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Riggs. Like, alien took a dump. Uh-oh. He took took a series of strategic dumps. Oh God, I got to show you that. I know I've shown this to people before, but look. Oh, there's some people here making fun of the fact that the guy from Stalker looks like Jason Statham. Okay, let me see.
Oh, Chris, wait till you see this awesome animation I'm making.
Wait till you find out.
Hold on, let me find the one I'm looking for. By the way, you may be interested to know that the Chris in this is Chris Straub, the guy who did Candle Cove and was it Public 58, the thing that is considered to have begun analog horror.
I don't see why you don't like this idea for a Blam.
What is it?
It's the one I already
hate
told
it.
you about. Yeah, good job. All right.
Okay.
It's the one where that agent is sent back in time from the distant future because a terrorist has introduced some biological strain into the water supply that in 1,000 years is going to let him enslave the human race. So one man is sent back to clean it up. But the only way they could send the counter chemical...
Wait, this is your idea for a Star Trek episode.
No, it's not a Star Trek... Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but,
it is.
but
Because I can see you at your desk, dear Mr. Roddenberry, or dear Brennan Braga.
No, I will never send that man a letter.
Local 58, that's right. Thank you,
I will send
Chromebison.
him something else in the mail.
I really love what you did with Data and all of his brothers.
I really love that you just remade Star Trek 2. It's good stuff. No, the only way that you could counteract that nano agent is by carrying a different chemical in his bowel. So he's got to take a set of strategic dumps around the globe to fix the future. I'm going to be straightforward with you. I fantasize about that when I take a dump.
So, you're on the toilet, right?
Yeah.
You just had a big thing of Thai food. Pad Thai is kicking in.
Yeah, it's time to get on that pot.
So you excuse yourself, and you go into the toilet, and while you're in there, you're like, ugh, gotta get this poop out. If it don't, the future is... Oh, communicator.
Right.
Hello?
Exactly. Communicator. And it's Captain Picard. And he's like, Lieutenant Straub.
And so I'm like,
All right, take
Lieutenant
care, Jay
Straub.
Tilton.
Oh, you're there.
Yes, Captain, I'm here.
Come in, Straub.
I'm here. I can just barely make you out through all the echo and the tile in here.
Have you delivered the agent?
Not yet. I know the future depends on this.
Straub, listen to me. Time is of the essence.
Right, and then Riker gets on and he's
The
all like...
vortex has grown in our timeline. The vortex is big, 3 times the Enterprise.
I'm trying. And Counselor Troy's like, you need to relax. Clear your mind. And like, oh, the future depends on this. And I can't tell you, actually, I mean, from a personal standpoint, how much that adds to taking a shit.
Now I want to try it.
That's a real quantity. And you know what? It doesn't have anything to do with Star Trek. I can place that into any scenario and be exciting. Like, can you imagine, like, the build-up scene in Back to the Future 3 where they're on the trains? But imagine that I'm sitting on the back of the DeLorean. I got to take a shit into the Mr. Fusion. And like Marty's hanging out the edge, and Doc Brown is trying to grab him, and this whole thing is going on. They're going to go over the bridge, and and I'm just back there silently trying to take a dump because for the future of all
Get
mankind.
your hands off her. And then in the background, Marty's just going.
Right. Can you hear the music? And it's just the perfect moment. Ah, man. You could drop it anywhere. Think about Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he's trying to put that bag of sand. You know what's in that bag.
Oh, no, here. The best part is when Indy is hanging over the crack across the center of the knight's chamber, and he's taking a dump, and his dad's like, Indy, let it go.
Exactly. And Indy does let it go, and then like everything's shaking, and the light of heaven is shining down on him. I'm realizing this sounds sort of fetishy.
I need a shit fantasy because
It's a boring time.
I've just been staring at the floor.
Yeah, there's a world of adventure to explore as close as your nearest bathroom.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Have you ever, while pooping, in front of you had like wallpaper?
Okay.
And you let your eyes cross so you can make
The 3D shape.
out of the wallpaper?
Yeah. I do that with tile. It's not very fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll try and see how many tiles I can cross my eyes on.
That's my poop game.
Well, my poop game is better. It's superior empirically.
It is. I'm not saving the future.
Oh man, like I'm going to Law and Order SVU. Like the whole cast is in the bathroom with me, and they're waiting for me to shit out the vital evidence that's gonna clear an innocent man, an innocent, developmentally challenged man who's on death row. And they're pacing, and Munch is like, I don't swear this is a big waste of time. And Staber's like, shut up. We gotta let this man do his job. And the mayor's got a medal for me waiting if I can do this. Just depends on what I ate. Did I have enough bananas? How much fiber one have I consumed?
There's a reason why I don't like this.
What's the matter with it?
It's
perfect.
dumb. Oh, it's dumb.
It's a wonderful idea.
It's dumb.
Look, try it out next time, and if you don't like it, then, I'm sorry you had a bad dump, but...
All right, I'll give it a shit.
Yeah. Telling you. Poop game. Poop game. Yeah. Ah. Sweet. Put another one.
I love elevators because they get us to our floor without having to use the stairs.
And I love elevators for all the unique button choices they have to offer.
Hey, these are my buttons. Lay off.
Hey, I'm gonna push what I want to push and when.
Not if I push them all first.
Look, hey, come on.
Too many buttons pressed at once.
Now look what you did, Scott. Why couldn't we just share like the other kids?
I never learned how to share anything but criticism. That beard makes you look fat.
Well, now we're stuck and we have to wait for building security to get us moving again. Plus, I'm super claustrophobic. I hate small places. I want out, feel the sun on my cheeks.
Chris, I feel like this whole situation is my fault for not stopping you from getting us stuck in here. I feel terrible. I don't want to be stuck in an elevator with a crazy person.
Then you better do something to keep my heart rate down. If it raises over 100 beats per minute, I'll explode.
Maybe you should do that line again.
Then you better do something to keep my heart rate down. Meow. Then you better do something to keep my heart rate down. If it raises above 100 beats per minute, I'll explode.
Ooh, hey man, get to a happy place. Think about the first Blamimation we made together.
Now you gotta do that one.
Think about the first Blamimation we ever made together.
That certainly was a time. Just two kids against the whole crazy world of real animation.
Golly, Ain't that the truth? If we only knew then what we know now.
Just a couple of mooks full of piss and vinegar.
And you slept with my wife.
My heart rate.
Sorry, old wounds.
I remember our first night driver, clear as day.
In 1974, Michael Driver was contacted by a secret organization that had a totally bitchin' car. A car that could talk and do all kinds of stuff together. They were friends. But then they had an argument. But then they patched it up and they're friends again, and it's totally awesome. This is Night Driver.
I'm in a lot of trouble. I'm still tied to this chair. My guts are burning up. Gotta get my phone. Wheels, where are you?
Hey, what's going on, Michael?
Hey, what's happening, Wheels? I need help. I'm stuck in this building, and my guts are shot up.
I'm safe out here. Don't worry about me.
I'm not worried about you. Come help me.
Oh, God. Chris, you're remembering it wrong. It went like this.
Shot in the guts. Miserable. I'm gonna miss the prom. I hope Sally takes me to dance. Hey,
No,
Wheels.
I hope Michael asked me to the prom. Oh, hey, Mike, what's up?
Hey, where's Sally? My date for the prom. I love her. I want to be with her.
You got... All right. Well, let me drive you to both the prom.
Really,
right.
buddy?
Yeah, let's... Oh, I guess you can't go. Let this with me.
Get the real remembrance in. This is how it really went down, right here.
Shot in the guts. I'm in a lot of trouble. And the worst part is, I'm remodeling my house. Gotta call my friend Wheels for a quote. Wheels!
Wheels body repair... Oh, shit.
Well, come on, Wheels. I need some help with remodeling my home. I gotta knock a wall down. What do you got for me?
$1,000 and I'll knock it down. Only $1,000.
$1,000? I won't pay it.
Oh, it's fair price. Here, you owe me $1,000. Friendship hurts. This gut shot is a metaphor for my troubles with Wheels. I'm gonna call him Wheels.
Hey, what's up, Michael? I'm out here. I'm safe. I'm good.
I wish we could be better friends, but I don't know how to broach it.
Why don't you just ask me out for coffee sometime? It's a lot of fun.
Let's have some coffee.
Let's go!
Oh, why do you always hurt? Don't like hanging out with Wheels, but my DVR's busted and I need to see the new episode of House. Shit, I'll give him a call. Beep boop, Wheels.
Hey, you calling about your fucking DVR?
No, I just wanted to see if you want to hang out tonight. It had nothing to do with TV.
Yeah, well, I know there's a new episode of House coming up. You want that?
Well, I mean, if you want to watch it, you can come over. Oh, the price is too high.
I got a hot date tonight, but I can't get an erection with all this blood loss. Better get some Cialis from my personal pharmacy. Wheels.
Wheels Pharmacy, how can I help you?
Yeah, I need my Cialis, buddy. I gotta get hard for tonight.
Oh, I got him right here in my camshaft. No joke. Sorry, I'll get him to you real quick.
Okay, well, I need it.
Here we go. Oh, bone zone.
I'm so hungry, I'm bleeding. I better call a pizza place, see what's cooking. Pizza.
Car Pete's, how can I help?
You got something hot and fresh for me out of your oven?
Yeah,
I need it.
Yeah, I am a car that poops pizza, and you're gonna love it. It's called...
Craving a hot slice, buddy. Bring it home.
All right, here comes delivery. 30 minutes or you're dead. I'm an independent woman version of Michael Driver. My name is Michelle Driver, and I'm just as good as a man. Watch me escape. Wheezy.
Hey, I'm Wheezy. What can you need?
No, you gotta be more independent than that. Come on, Wheezy. Get in here and save me.
Hey, okay, I don't need you at all. I'm independent.
No, you need... Oh, too independent.
Fuck you.
Feeling good in the neighborhood. I'm hungry. Time to order something from Applebee's. Beep, beep, boop, boop.
Hello, Applebee's Delivery. I love you.
I need a Coke. Send me a Coke.
All right, you want that hot or cold? Hot, cold, Coke. We got them both.
Wait, no, it's a Coke. Coke's always cold.
I don't think so.
I'm going to Chili's. Is that funny? It's going to be funny to nobody. Hot or cold? Hot Cokes.
Wait a minute, Scott. I never messed up like that. It was you who messed up.
Well, no matter which of us messed up, we sure had fun even though you messed up.
Yeah, those are some cherished times.
Especially if you completely ignore the fact that you still owe me thousands of dollars for the rights to Night Driver, which I never sold to you.
Well, memories like that help keep my feet on the ground, even though we're stuck in this death trap elevator. I'm dying!
Chris,
God,
we gotta keep your heart rate down. I'm allergic to exploding.
Taking these little strolls down memory zone with you Sure help keep away the heart hurts.
Seriously, why did you ever let Dennis Hopper get anywhere near your heart with that bomb equipment?
He was the only HMO that would take my insurance. Plus, he had the best drugs.
Shit, I still wish you had some of them.
I do.
Drug-induced memory time!
Whoa! This elevator's gonna be our coffin.
Down on his luck, mild-mannered Jeff Brackish receives a peculiar letter from parts unknown. The long-lost descendant of a mermaid princess, he finds himself heir to the crown of Atlantis. These are his adventures. These are the adventures of Deep King.
Hey, what's up? Hey, fish
You
man.
need to fix my pool filter.
Man, that's not my job. I didn't bring my stuff.
I can't. There's lots of slugs and leaves in here.
Well, maybe don't go swimming in the fall.
My kid's gotta swim. Oh no.
Whoa, nude mom, what the hell?
Holy
I'm
shit,
so
honey.
over this.
No, god damn it. That's not how it happened. You don't remember shit. This is how it went. Hey, welcome to Red Lobster. It's the seafood lover in you.
I can't wait. Is it Shrimp Fest? I'm so hungry, man. What do you got?
I think it's well, we got Captain's Feast tonight. It's 100 lobsters.
Oh boy. Give me...
And 1 shrimp.
Bring those cheesy biscuits.
Yikes, whoa.
Oh my god.
Nice boobs.
Who's dinner and a show?
Hey, fish man, you've been in prison a long time. Let's shoot some hoops, buddy. How you been?
Oh, yeah. Listen, the sea law means that my wife gets all my stuff.
Okay, well that... Whoa!
Oh, you tried to murder me!
Yikes.
COJ! Prove it, bitch. Hey, this is gonna sound weird, but I kind of want to try fucking a dolphin.
Hey, you came to the right place. I'm the dolphin pimp.
I know it's not weird for me. I'm half fish, so it's cool. Don't think it's weird.
Hey, you don't even have a dick. What are you gonna fuck it with?
I'm gonna fuck it with this trident. Oh my god,
Yikes.
it's my wife.
Uh-oh.
I'm just here buying paint.
I don't think it's a good idea. Yep, I'm out of here.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, wow. Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you said you'd be wearing the tank.
Yeah, that's me. You got the
Yeah.
trident and everything. I guess.
Yep.
What do you want to? You want to go get a slice?
I guess we could get some. Oh.
Whoa, jealous wife.
eHarmony.
Sorry about
You failed
this.
me. This is the worst C tweet ever. Shit. Daniel Cisan, if you want to learn C karate, you have to do everything I say.
All right, I'm prepared to learn, Master. What we got on the plate?
You gotta do everything I say, no matter what.
No, I can do it. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to do
All
this.
right.
Teach
Okay,
me.
so the first thing you gotta do is
Whoa,
don't look at her.
who's
Don't
that?
look at her
Who
boobs.
is that?
Don't look at her
Wow,
tits.
ooh, yikes.
Don't be distracted.
Nice stuff there.
Oh,
Wow.
you failed. Wax off.
Hey, Merman, thanks for being part of my aquarium. The kids are gonna flip. You're a prize.
No problem. I just hope that you don't feed me too much, because I don't know if you're aware, I can also get pink eye. You should really pH balance this tank.
Don't worry about
Hey,
it.
whoa, not a beta. I'll fight a beta.
No. Stay away from each other.
All
All right, no, I'm gonna get my dad.
Hey, fuckface, where's my copy of Little Nemo? Finding Nemo.
maybe I'm not-
Sorry, Little Nemo's a comic.
I'm not done watching either one yet. You can't have them.
Well, I don't get much Pixar down here.
Hey, I don't either, man. It's tough to see through these goggles.
Whoa!
We saw
Steve
that.
Jobs didn't intend that to happen.
She looks good though. I'll get the DVDs.
Hey, what you gonna do here at the sea,
what
man?
are you talking about over here? What are you doing over here?
Oh, I want to get a Philly cheesesteak, but it's gonna get soggy in here. You know, it's gonna
gotta get some of these Roman columns and shit. It's like Atlantis down here, whatever you're talking
It's
about.
crazy, man. It's like, the women here are crazy nuts. Oh, hey, look at that.
Oh, look at
Jersey
that.
Shore is
Oh,
saying.
I can't believe what I'm seeing over here. I'm gonna go get Rocco. This is Rick Steves reminding you to travel to Atlantis for a great adventure under the water. All you need is a scuba tank and an underwater camera, and you can have a lot of fun traveling around the world. Look at all this beautiful coral.
Oh, Rick, you're the best. Hey, get out of here.
Oh, don't I know it? Rick Steves.
Deep King, the worst of the blams.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm really bored. This is incredibly boring. Why did I even make this?
I don't know. It was a good idea at
Hey,
the time.
Alexa.
Yeah, it felt like it was gonna work. And guess who's gonna show up pretty shortly?
Oh, great.
There she is.
Yep.
Nude woman. Who cares?
Little bit of a bush showing.
Who gives a
Little
shit?
treat.
Goodbye.
Fuck it. Oh, Chris, the elevator's moving again. Maybe the security guys heard our blamimation memories through the shaft.
I hope so, because these pulse-pounding blams have got me up to 99 beats per minute. One more beat and we're gonna blow.
Hey, did you ever see the movie Devil? That's our guts. I love elevators because they get us to our floor without having to use the.
All right. Oh, man. Oh. So what else? What else? What else we got? I don't know. What do you guys got? You guys got anything? Got anything funny? Entertainment? Just. I think I'm going to go get myself a new coffee. And while I'm gone, you can listen to Sick of You by Guar. Weird green thing on the floor. Oh, those would be socks.
Chases its own tail. There's a Damagogo for someone who was there for people like me. Tigers turned up, love the party. Yes, they're all here with me. Bloody Sodom, let's go! Always a kick. Bloody Sodom, even though the stuff is making me sick. As we sit on our roofs and cheer as your skulls fly like
And that was Sadamagogo, also by Guar. Before that was Sick of You by Guar. And I'm in a bit of a Guar mood. Hey, Jack, this is a recommendation for analog horror show called Good Night, Dear Margaret. All right, let's look that up. Episode 6. Wait, what the fuck? The fuck? What am I looking at?
The pawns will adore James' darkly romantic aesthetic and the respect with which he handled the body.
Oh, I was hoping this was going to be a little more video based. This looks like potentially one of those like spooky podcasts that I tend to hate. You know, because they're not spooky. I mean, I suppose, look, I say things like I'm a tough crowd when it comes to horrific things. And I suppose that's true. But like, come on, man. Intrigue me.
Story time. Julie had been. He remembered their vows. Then he remembered the words of Esme the seer. Come back in 20 years.
Let's see, episode 1.
Let us take hands and walk together. Down a tree-lined lane at dusk. The lane passes by 2 tall houses that can only just be seen by the twinkle of lights in the dim. One house is brimming with life. The other burns its lights without need.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of horror is sound. A lot of the horror is sound. It's one of the reasons why The Rubber keeps using the same background music, because it's a really good track.
He requested for a cup of joe from Euclid class object SCP-294. SCP-294, also known as a standard coffee vending machine, is a coffee vending machine that can produce any beverage through keyboard input. Its entry keyboard is corresponding to an English QWERTY keyboard. Upon depositing 50 cents US currency into the coin slot, the user is prompted to enter the name of any liquid using the keyboard. After doing so, a standard 12-ounce paper drinking cup is placed, and the liquid indicated is poured into the cup. The Foundation has conducted 97 tests, including requests for water, coffee, beer, and soda, non-consumable liquids such as sulfuric acid, wiper fluid, and motor oil, as well as substances that do not usually exist in liquid state, such as nitrogen, iron, and glass, and each one returned a success. It is also interesting to note that many caustic liquids that would have corroded a normal paper cup seem to have no effect on the cups dispensed by the machine. However, test runs with solid materials such as diamond have failed. This shows that SCP-294 can only deliver substances that can exist in liquid state. It is of note that after approximately 50 uses, the machine would not respond to further requests. After a period of approximately 90 minutes, the machine seemed to have restocked itself. 294 was originally placed in the Foundation's personnel break room because it is almost harmless to human beings and it's also a money-saving venture. However, after the 294-01 accident, 2 guards of Security Clearance Level 3 were arranged to guard 294 at all times. Since then, anyone who wants to get contact with it needs to obtain security permission first. So, what happened during the 294-01 incident? The incident happened on August 21, 2005. Agent Joseph attempted to use 294 to obtain coffee during his allotted break time at 9:30 a.m. At the request of another agent to see what it would do, Agent Joseph requested for a cup of joe from 294. Moments after confirming the selection, Agent Joseph began to sweat profusely and complained of dizziness before collapsing. After moving the unconscious agent to the infirmary, the medical team recovered the contents of the cup dispensed by SCP-294. They found a combination of blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids in the liquid. Testing revealed the DNA sequence of the biological material dispensed by SCP-294 matched that of Agent Joseph. Luckily, Agent Joseph made a complete recovery after 4 weeks of rest and intravenous hydration. X-rays and CAT scans showed no further signs of injury, and he was released. After reviewing documentation on 294, the Foundation started testing 294's ability to retrieve specific liquids from a distance. To test the range of 294's capacity for retrieval, researchers formulated a unique compound composed of undisclosed ratios of bleach, cola, met-RX powder, and garam masala. The fluid was created and placed in a sealed container 25 meters away from 294. When the request for this liquid was made, an equal amount of the liquid that had existed in the sealed container had disappeared without any reason. In another test, it has now been confirmed that 294 has the ability to directly gather information from someone's mind in order to comply with the given conditions. Under observation of Level 4 personnel, an agent keyed in a request of the best drink I've ever had. 294 delivered a dark fluid topped with white foam, which was later identified as Vienna Lager. The cup was printed with a color picture of 5 men and 2 women drinking beer on the beach, and the agent who requested for this drink was one of them. In his briefing, he confirmed that his favorite drink ever was a Vienna Lager he consumed at the beach with his friends. According to another test, 294 was proved to be able to produce abstract concepts or sentences, and it also can make the subjects feel the experience. Researcher keyed in request for a cup of music. SCP-294 produced a clear, sparkling fluid that tasted vaguely alcoholic. Following ingestion, subject reported feeling, and not hearing, a continuous rhythm, and demonstrated the ability to move and even dance with a certain fluidity that he had not previously shown. In one of the other tests, a professor requested My Life Story from 294. 294 began to shake violently, like a tornado, and made humming noises violently for approximately 3 minutes, before providing a highly viscous, opaque black liquid. Upon consumption, the professor reported that he remembered everything that had ever happened to him. Following this test, the professor entered his office and returned 48 hours later with a 538-page autobiography. According to an addendum, a D-class personnel with IQ of 99 and low curiosity scores was given written instructions about what to request. The D-class personnel produced a request for blood of Canis lupus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as wolf blood. The D-class personnel next produced a request for saliva of Equus ferus caballus and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as horse saliva. The D-class personnel next produced a request for urine of Phascolarctus cineris and received a cup of liquid subsequently identified as koala urine. The D-class personnel next produced a request for cerebrospinal fluid of Phobaramus pattersoni and received a cup of liquid currently undergoing analysis. It is to be noted that Phobaramus pattersoni went extinct during the late Miocene epoch, approximately 8 million years ago. Other SCP-294 tests are currently awaiting for approval. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these.
I kind of like the ones that are just strange. For the SCPs that are just strange, I don't tend to like the ones with complicated stories, but I prefer the ones that are mysteries.
Viewer discretion is advised. Do not pity the wretch. Allow them to pay the price of their betrayal for all eternity. SCP-1678, also known as Un-London, is a full-scale mirror image reconstruction of London, located exactly 1 kilometer underneath the original city of London. The city has been constructed in a Victorian style of architecture. Currently, only the Hyde Park district of 1678 has been explored, but all buildings, at least within the explored district, correlate exactly to their surface counterparts in terms of location, as well as the exterior size and shape. 1678 is believed to have been constructed instantaneously by unknown means, with the 1678 Houses of Parliament serving as the epicenter for the construction process. The evidence supporting this assumption is that the farther away from the Houses of Parliament, the higher frequency of flaws found in the construction of 1678, such as houses built entirely out of copper pipes or other unconventional materials, gaslights being little more than a metal rod topped with a floating orb of light, buildings containing no floors, no windows or doors. 1678 is believed to have been constructed with the intent to harbor the survivors of an XK-class end-of-the-world event. This is evidenced by an audio recording that will activate and play upon any person entering the city. Here's a short audio recording that supports this hypothesis. My fellow citizen, if you are hearing this tape, then the world as we knew it has finished. The sky has broken, the ground heaves with the tramp of terrible feet, and all the horror and madness from the dark corners of the world has broken free to exact its vengeance on the world of man. Yes, this is the end. But there is a new hope. Welcome to Un-London, a city of the survivors, a city of the free. Together, fellow citizen, we will wait and prepare for the new beginning, the grand new world that is soon to come. Let the world above burn. Most explored buildings within 1678 appear to have been outfitted for the purpose of extremely dense inhabitation with closely grouped steel bunk beds. Aside from Foundation occupants and cases of SCP-1678-A, B, and C, SCP-1678 is believed to be uninhibited due to a high preponderance of mold, damp, and poor construction within these buildings. Some buildings are outfitted for other purposes, most notably the SCP-1678 version of the Natural History Museum, which is featuring an exhibit titled The Fall of Man and contains representations of several known SCP entities, and images and artwork depicting apocalyptic settings. SCP-1678-A entities are bobbies. Bobby is known to be a Victorian-era British slang term for policeman. They are also the key threat posed by 1678. These entities are constructed out of human corpses, crudely dismembered at the head, wrists, knees, and elbows, and reassembled using simple industrial hinges and screws. Their heads are always wrapped in bandages. They are dressed in a uniform similar to Victorian-era police and are extremely hostile towards Foundation personnel, attacking them on site with improvised weapons. These attacks are always preceded by 1678-A emitting a noise similar to that of a policeman's whistle, and all loudspeakers within 100 meters emitting the audio recording, "Police! Halt! Criminal!" 1678-A are extremely resistant to damage, with only high-caliber rounds and explosive weapons proving sufficient to destroy them. They are believed to originate from a building named Bryson's Home for the Poor, as evidenced by an inmate-style jumpsuit worn under the uniform. SCP-1678-B, also known as Eyes in the Sky, are biomechanical constructs which resemble that of a small avian life form. They are composed of a central mass of a red organic matter, stitched together by a copper exoskeleton that resembles a spine and wing bones. The head has been demonstrated to be a small video camera, and remnants of feathers and plastic on their exterior suggest they were once intended to resemble a pigeon. Cases of 1678-B are known to possess no offensive or destructive capabilities, yet their ability to track task force movements should not be underestimated, as it is currently unknown if they are capable of communicating with or summoning cases of SCP-1678-A. Cases of 1678-B are relatively simple to contain or destroy, yet their large numbers make it difficult to prevent their surveillance of the SCP Foundation. Occasional posters throughout the Foundation explored area allude to their existence. These posters display an image of a small pigeon observing criminal activity beneath the title, "Un-London's Eyes in the Sky," alongside a small message to the effect that anyone destroying or vandalizing an eye in the sky faces up to 6 weeks in prison. Cases of SCP-1678-C, also known as the Wretch, resemble a humanoid figure dressed in rags. They appear to be of old age and are usually female. They have always been encountered outside the Foundation-held area. There have been very few direct encounters with the 1678-C entities, and it is currently unknown how many of them exist, or to what level of threat they pose to Foundation security or safety. Encounters typically feature cases of 1678-C sitting on a street corner with a begging dish, whereupon they will attempt to attract the pity or mercy of any Foundation personnel within their proximity, with pleading or begging for food or money. Giving food to 1678-C will cause them to begin weeping, before dematerializing with a burst of dense black smoke. Foundation personnel are currently under instruction to not interact with them. They are briefly alluded to in an SCP-1678 audio recording. Do not pity the wretch. Allow them to pay the price of their betrayal for all eternity. Remember, citizen, on the day Un-London rises, I shall reward the loyal, but traitors shall be forever damned. And lastly, SCP-1678-D, the only food supply found in SCP-1678. Due to the difficulty of creating food within 1678, 1678-D would serve as the primary food source in the event of large-scale habitation. 1678-D is freely and easily available from steel vending machines, installed in virtually every building or structure outfitted for the purpose of habitation. The vending machines are upright steel pumps similar in size and shape to that of a modern petrol pump, containing a slot for the receiving of coins and a flexible rubber hose, ending in a trigger-operated nozzle that will deploy half a liter of 1678-D upon the appropriate payment. All vending machines display the title, Dr. Goody's Wonder Food.
That's Dr. Goofy's Wonder Food. Alongside
an image of a smiling child enjoying a bowl of 1678-D. and text bubbles advising that 1678-D costs just a farthing a bowl, that it contains all the nutrients you need, and completely restores health and vitality. It has proven to be extremely attractive to cases of 1678-B and C. SCP-1678-D is a synthetic starch gel, heavily enriched with various minerals, vitamins, fats, and bulking agents. In addition to this, it contains several unknown molecular structures and various engineered DNA helixes carried within synthetic cellular structures. It has the same consistency and taste as porridge. As advertised, it contains all the nutrients necessary for short-term survival. However, Foundation researchers have advised that over a period of more than 6 weeks, users of 1678-D will become dangerously underweight due to low levels of fat and protein within 1678-D, and are at strong likelihood of contracting illnesses such as scurvy if survival is attempted by consuming 1678-D alone. SCP-1678-D appears to be purposely engineered to manipulate the psyche of regular consumers. Through a mixture of unknown molecular compounds, regular consumers are more obedient to authority, are less likely to commit acts of violence, are less likely to engage in sexual intercourse, have a reduced capacity for fear or panic, and can always maintain high morale. In addition, it also has engineered side effects such as depressive symptoms and headaches if a subject suddenly stops consuming 1678-D. Foundation personnel are forbidden to consume SCP-1678-D, even in small amounts. Not all vending machines produce 1678-D to the same quality, with some machines deploying corrupted forms that have induced severe mental or physical abnormalities or death within the consumer. It is currently unclear what entity, being, or intelligence is responsible for the creation and maintenance of SCP-1678. It is unclear as to what event or disaster 1678 is being prepared for. For now, 1678 remains only partially contained. A long-term research base is currently under construction, and Mobile Task Force commanders are preparing an assault on the SCP-1678 Natural History Museum, with the intent of capturing a forward command post to direct defense efforts. Current short-term aims involve the capture of and extension of the defensible perimeter to the 1678 Natural History Museum, and to research and to ascertain the origins, construction, and weaknesses of the 1678-A entities. Long-term aims involve efforts to halt, hinder, or control the production of the 1678-A entities, and to assault the SCP-1678 Houses of Parliament, where the being, entity, or intelligence responsible for the creation of SCP-1678 is believed to reside, and to capture and contain the aforementioned being. Remember to check...
Pumpkin Witch's Halloween Time Sweeties. All right. Let's see what this yields.
The Pumpkin Witch, Halloween time sweeties. The Pumpkin Witch, Halloween time sweeties.
I gotta see if my coffee's ready. Here. Wait, what? That's not what I thought it would be. All right, this is better. Enjoy Burger Trench.
Hey, baby, see the way you quake. Gonna drink yourself a master shake. You got a thirst you wanna quench. Travel down the Burger Trail. Eat yourself a big meat one with honey mustard dipping sauce. You want an affordable place to dine? Feed your kids for $3.99.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even, brightly shone the moon that night. Though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel.
And that was Burger Trench. Oh man. So like, how many out there play TTRPGs? Them tabletop role-playing games, them Dungeons and Dragons, and things like that. Ah. Get yourself big meat water with honey mustard dipping sauce. I do burn. All right, present. I hate algebra. Okay. All right. Well, we know Riggs ain't playing. He ain't playing them D&Ds. I just belched in your old face. Experimented with, never really got any further. Most RPGs with video games. Aha. Don't have a group anymore. Okay, that's okay. All right. Because I like the damn things. I like the damn things. I'm making my own, getting ready to release it on Kickstarter to see if there's enough interest to get an actual thing made. Hoo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh. Get yourself a biggie wad, but honey mustard dip in sauce. Hurdy-gurdy. Nurse and Ferdy. Ah, man. My brain is just full of brain. All right, let's see what this Frostpunk is.
There are three constants: cold, work, and the moan. The first is an ever-present danger. The second is our best weapon to fight it. And the third is proof our weapon is working, that the tools we have built to preserve us from the ice and snow are keeping them at bay. The world we knew ended 10 years ago. The great frost descended and the cold never relented. There are no more seasons, no more warmth. Things we took for granted in our old life, food, trees, comfort, are difficult to come by. It is a hard life, but it is the only one we have. We go forward, day after day, driven by the same words that spurred us on since we migrated north. The city must survive. Frostpunk, the award-winning video game from 11-Bit Studios, is becoming a tabletop role-playing game from Catalyst Game Labs, longtime publisher of Shadowrun and Battletech. This society-building game pushes players to consider what they will do to preserve the fragile communities that they...
Oh, that reminds me. I found out why there hasn't been another Shadowrun game. Another Shadowrun video game, which is apparently the license got too expensive. Like, Microsoft wants that dollar. And they were like, but we made 3 successful ones and made you money. What's going on? No, we want to make even more money. Okay.
have built. Take on a variety of roles from medic to engineer to hunter to explorer and more. See what you can do to build a society, confront crises, and overcome dangers of the continual cold. The choices you will face will not be easy, but they cannot be avoided. What will you prioritize? What will you value? If you keep hope in your people and reduce discontent, you can build something that lasts. But if things go poorly, people will let you know.
You could find society crumbling around you and perhaps be exiled into the cold with no hope of return to warmth. Using the new Dice Core role-playing system, the Frostpunk role-playing game offers an easy-to-learn, fast-moving system that puts your character's decision at the center of any session, and allows you to try and build and maintain a city that somehow manages to hold people together. Back now for your chance to play an entirely new kind of RPG.
I don't know if it's gonna be entirely new kind. Learn about accountability from the... No, it's okay. When the fields go fallow. Oh, well, this is a really cheap one. Yeah, I know. No. Wasteland Degenerates. Well, I don't like the sound of that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think we got the idea. All right, you take care, Kate. Good night. Yeah, I'd love to see you again. Maybe we'll probably have some. Maybe we'll have some guests on that time. You know? Bloodlines 2 comes out soon, doesn't it? I doubt it. Let me see. I know they put out like a new game update for it. Let's check it out. Although I'm not expecting anything great.
Good evening, Kindred. I'm Marco Beerman, Executive Vice President of World of Darkness and Executive Producer on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Since our last update, we have added more content to the game, more narrative depth, character development, and we have also evolved Fabian's role in the storyline.
That's cute and all,
we
but
have invited you all to see the development of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 in the form of dev diaries, focusing on various areas from the game, including Camarilla, the Anarchs, the Hunters, and many, many other things. I implore you to check it out and learn more about the game.
Dude.
The status of the game right now is that the game is done. We are currently focusing on bug fixing, stability, and performance. So
I'll
we can
believe it
deliver
when I
the best
fucking see it.
Experience to you guys once it releases. Bloodlines 2.
All right, talk to you
will
later, Kate.
release in October this year.
Really? Will it?
In the meantime, please join us on Discord for any questions or updates.
There was someone I had forgotten. I thought he was gone. His destruction will change everything.
I don't know, guys. Like, maybe, like, that thing's gone through so many fucking production troubles that I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, it turns out we didn't make this date either. You know, apparently they don't have like a new trailer. I thought they did. No, all they got is the same one from no, they got update video, and that's basically it.
Blue bloods in castles, peasants in the gutter. Same old story with a pretty flag on top.
You have one night.
Yeah. Kinda. Maybe if I put. Was it the. No, that's actually. They even have the, Oh, yeah, here we go.
In the sound of the silence, I can move like the wind. With the eyes on my target, I will bloom in my sin. Wide awake like I'm dreaming.
Yeah, the first one went through, like, nearly identical production problems.
Can you hear it? My blood is singing. I will wait for you.
Yeah, that's back when it was like, what, fall of last year? You know, so like maybe it'll happen. You know, like maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, you know. Like they've been promising this game for a long ass time, and while I hope that they pull it off for their sake, you know. But I find myself constantly asking, like, what's the holdup? Like, I mean, how ambitious did you get? Like, you probably could have saved yourself a lot of trouble just by saying, like, okay, we're not gonna. The story is going to contain all of the, like, bloodlines and all that stuff. But, like, your character is going to be, like, you know, Bruja Ventru, something like that, you know. You know, and just make it a good experience. Like, I don't know how. Also, I don't know about making everything like. Let me put it this way: in the time that in the time it took in the time since like Bloodlines 2 was announced, Baldur's Gate 3 started development and came out. Yeah, like Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines has been in development for 10 years. Baldur's Gate 3 started development in 2017. Yeah, yeah, and also development success. And I gotta be honest, in my opinion, one of the worst mistakes White Wolf made was selling itself to was it ICCP? Who was it that made EVE Online? Yeah, CCP Games. That like why would you sell to that company? You know, a company that is just really not known for making narrative. I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems like a bad idea. Yeah, also the production on these games is time on these games ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're not going to see many more of these like games that take this long to fucking make. And I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing because yeah, you're just not going to see them much anymore. There's just no investment money. You're going to see a lot of indie games. So if an indie game manages to pack that much content into one of their games, hey, everyone's going to be really happy. But like these nearly $1 billion budgets that take 10 years, you're not going to see much. You're not going to see much more of that. Okay. Well, I'm getting a little tired, and it's been 2 hours, so I should probably log off myself. Oh yeah, Valve is out of the video game business, man. They're just out of it. They're out of the development business. Forget it. Half-Life 3 is never going to happen. Yeah. All right. So I will see you next time. That will probably be tomorrow. And until then, remember, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. And remember to hail Satan, for his age is nigh. All right. Good night.